Grand opening, grand closing.
Welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. It's your only friend is YouTube Streets Porter Rock 77, and here's another commentary video. Gonna address this over here. Hold on, let me pick the exact spot where it was at. Let me get it. Let me get it. Hold on. I got the timestamp. Hold on. Nope, not there. But there's a comment that he said. I'm gonna let this play a little bit and then I'll pause it. But there's something of a bigger issue that gamers, content creators, and it's almost there, and boom, let me stop right there. Okay, I'll bring up the bigger screen, right? And the bigger issue is the most toxic people in gaming are not console warriors. Absolutely not. Because most of the console warriors, and what I mean by console warriors is the ones that have fun with it. It's pretty much the community, the portion of the console warriors that treat it like your mama jokes in the schoolyard. All it is just back and forth snapping on your mama jokes. You got a joke, they got a joke, snap on your sneakers, or you so broke, blah, blah, blah. It's just a game of being witty and shit talking, right? But then you have the console warriors that take it too far, or not even too far. They take it to a place where it doesn't belong, where they go personal. And then you got the next group, which I think is even worse. It's the group that pretends they're not console warring, right? Because this group that we see, they're cool with you or whatever when you say the things they want you to say, right? And they'll pretend to be your friend. And I'll say this, like for me personally, you know, the term friend for me over the internet is a very loose term. You know, because, you know, at a certain point, we got to break bread. We got to have a, you know, just know each other personally and stuff like that, right? And whatever. But if you only know people through Twitter, absolutely. You never video game with them. You never really talk. Like, you never really even talk about stuff outside of video games. Like, you don't know nothing about them personally, what they do. Are they really your friend, right? Or you consider them a friend or acquaintance, whatever. But you could say people who follow you, right? Who support your content. We'll use that. They make it seem like they support your content. Everything's great until you stop saying what they want to hear. Even if what you're saying is the absolute truth. They don't care. And then that's when you learn they only mess with you or follow your content, not because of the person, what you're trying to do, but because of what they receive and what you used to say and stuff like that, right? So I say all that to say this. The Xbox community is in shambles, right? It is absolutely in shambles. I'm going to listen to Destin Legarie, just quickly mention it. And then I'm going to, you know, talk about it a bit more. But let's hear this.
Chat here. Love what you're doing, Destin. Keep it up. Very few in the community with a voice of reason. Thank you, Xanark. The Xbox community is in shambles right now, and it's a dang shame. That's all I gotta say. That's what it took, a couple of B-tier games going over to PlayStation for y'all to crumble, for y'all to start saying we're gonna lose all our games and Xbox is that, like, I can't believe it. I can't believe that all the diehards just left. It was, I couldn't believe it. Anyway, let's continue on.
So I'm going to say he lost the plot. It wasn't, you guys still have a goddamn thing about what's going on, what's happening. Like, I really don't know. At this point, I'm gonna just have to chalk it up that you guys just I can't even chalk it up to something. I honestly, I don't know. Well, I don't know how your brains work. This is so obvious on what's happening, that at this point, I don't even. You guys are so far removed that I don't even understand this level of ignorance on what's going on or what's happening. Like, I can't even comprehend and explain it. Like, congratulations, you stumped the professor, because I don't have an answer on what you guys are refusing to see. I'm just going to explain what's happening, and hopefully for my explanation, you guys will understand. But if you don't, then I can't help you. I actually don't know what's going on in interviews. The what's tearing up the Xbox community isn't 4 games or a couple of B tier games. And now he's backtracking. Oh, I said the word, whatever. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter why the gotcha moment people put on you. The reason why the Xbox community is being crumbled is because it was a house built on lies. And you were complicit in that, Dustin, along with many others. You built a house on lies, and it just caught up. Now, of course, you're not going to admit it. No one ever wants to admit they're part of the problem, right? Even though we can. The crazy part is you act like we can't provide receipts on your videos, tweets. When you take holistically all the comments you said over the last 2 years, whatever, put it all together, you can clearly see you are part of providing false hope, false information, false narratives, just all bunch of stuff that was wrong, but it was geared towards Xbox going a certain direction to provide certain things. You were part of that, but you weren't the only one. Paris, Gamertag Radio, Tim Dog, RDX, Colt Eastwood, the list goes on. You were all complicit in providing a narrative, information through podcasting, through tweets, and there are literally countless hours of this, and you painted this picture to the community on the direction Xbox was going. Y'all painted this. And in the end, you didn't even guess. Not only did you paint the wrong picture, you're not even in the right museum. Completely different outlook of what Xbox has. And throughout the years, starting with this gen, there were people who invested in Xbox, or chose Xbox over PlayStation 5, because a lot of these statements they believed. You guys are known as influencers. What do you think that term is used for? You influenced. And now people see the reality of where Xbox is going, but that was not preached over the last 2 years or since the launch or even before the launch. And you guys are not accepting responsibility in your part in creating this false narrative of where Xbox is going, what is this doing, what it's doing, what it's about to do, where it's heading. And you guys are not taking any responsibility in the content you created, the statements that you made that influence a lot of people in expecting a certain outcome out of Xbox. The funny part is this, right? I ain't gonna say I'm an influencer, but the reality is I'm just not a big one or a good one, whatever. But the reality of Xbox that's happening, I said it on this channel, the direction was going. I addressed the issues. I said, I researched the content, researched the information. I even put it on this channel. Tim Stewart, interview, all that stuff. And I told people this is exactly what's going to happen. And of course, I was the fanboy. I look like a piece of shit. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But it ended up being true. Why? Because I don't need to create fake narratives for a company, even PlayStation. I didn't create no fake narrative over Portal or Vita when it came out, or Quanta Madre, what else? VR. I enjoy VR, but you don't see me going out here lying about it. Hell, the recent news of PlayStation VR 2 going to PC, people ask me whatever. I told the truth. I said the best way I could explain it, PSVR 2 is the Xbox of VR. Which is an insult for a lot of people see it, but it's the truth. Majority of the games are being made for Meta. The majority of VR games are being made for PC. PC is the leading platform for VR gaming, not PlayStation VR 2. So I said my only guess is Sony's hoping by putting PSVR 2 on PC, VR PC developers will port more games on to the platform, which results in PlayStation 5 getting even more games. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to pretend to the PlayStation VR audience or PlayStation fans that PSVR 2 has some type of, future success. Something magical is going to happen. Have faith in me. No, it's you got to tell the truth. Because the reality is, as much as I talk shit about plastic, I don't ground my information to screw another human being over. And I don't want to hear of, or neither did I, because Destin and a lot of you guys said some of the most ridiculous shit that is obvious. You guys, you would have a better chance of convincing people the sun rises in the west and sets in the east over some of the shit you guys said about Xbox. You will have a better chance of being successful in that venture, because some of the stuff you were just straight up wrong, completely wrong. There was no metrics on some of the things you guys said. There was no evidence, nothing. But you guys said it anyway. Because it benefited Xbox. It benefited the vision. In my opinion, this is what you guys did. And let's all be honest. You made an assumption that certain things will happen and that this will lead to an assumed trajectory of Xbox. Right? And you ignored all the bad things that were happening because you felt, well, I guess how you felt, but there's potential that you saw those things as just console war metrics that really don't matter. Like, for example, MPD console sales. I don't know why you guys think that that's a console war metric. Sure, people are using it for console war, but it is not a console war metric. It is a legit organization that tracks data, that is providing real facts. But y'all ignored it, thinking something big is going to happen. Like, it's just crazy. The Xbox community crumbled because it was a house built on lies. You guys were lying. The crazy part, I even pointed out, right? Xbox influencers, these Xbox ambassadors that literally admitted, they wrote it on their own Twitter accounts that they don't even play Xbox games. And you guys still love them. It blows my mind. You guys love people who don't even bother to play Xbox. Just as long as they said something nice about Xbox, that was good enough for you. That is insane, brother. Absolutely insane. How your community, the Xbox community, sided with people who literally told you to your face that they didn't play Xbox at all. They watch other people play. Unbelievable. And you guys still welcome them more open. You welcome people who don't even play Xbox on. Your Xbox house was built on lies and it crumbled. Not because of 4 games or business decision, because of a lie of what Xbox was supposed to be in the direction you guys were going. Destin, maybe I could reach you 2 out to this. Before Xbox acquired ABK, before the FTC trial, if people knew that nothing was going to change, if people knew and was upfront, if Microsoft was upfront before the ABK trial and says, hey, we're going to get ABK, but none of the games are going to be exclusives. In fact, we're going to put more of our games on PlayStation 5, like Sea of Thieves. In fact, arguably, you can say during the ABK trials or before the ABK trials, they were already in the porting process. And the reason why I say that is Sea of Thieves comes out in April 2024. A game like that, can you say at least you need a year to port? At least a year, right? I doubt you could port in 3 months. Let's say a year. So if they took a year to port Sea of Thieves and it comes out April 2024, that means the port started in April 2023, which if I remember correctly, that's before the ABK trials, right? Because the ABK trials is like June or something. So while you especially was coming to ABK talking about all these exclusives and how the potential ABK can boost up Xbox, they were already porting games. The decision was already done to put games on PS5. Now, let's say if on that day, Microsoft, when they administratively, not the physical part of porting, but the decision, which had to be done like in March, because if they started physically porting games in April, May, whatever, that means the decision was done in March and February of 2023. If January and February 2023, Microsoft came out, hey, we have begun expanding our portfolio. We are going to put more games on PlayStation. We plan to put Hi-Fi Rush, blah, 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 all the way through. How many Xbox fans would actually give a shit about the ABK deal then? If they knew that Microsoft was already going to port games on PlayStation. How many would like wake up at 3 a.m. to listen to a verdict trial? Who would give a shit about the ABK trial if everybody knew more games would be imported to PlayStation and Nintendo? Beyond just the Call of Duty or whatever, like everything. Who would give a shit about ABK? The only people that would probably care is Game Pass. Gamers, right? Because those games will be day one on Game Pass and stuff like that. Other than that, if people knew Microsoft was publishing games on PlayStation, people would not put in the energy. But they put in the energy in the ABK deal. They put in the energy to watch your content over the ABK deal. All the stuff. Come on. Do we need to pull up all your ABK videos and see what you said? And re-listen to all the things you promised. Or not just promised, but you mentioned and you felt was going to happen once Microsoft acquired the ABK deal. And how these exclusives and future titles and blah, blah, blah is going to enhance Xbox. Do we need to relive that? Do we need to remind you of the stuff that was said? Not just by you and everybody else. That's what made the community crumble. Because they were sold. Many people saw a lie. Oh my God. Like, Destin. Is it really that far-fetched that when people are told something by somebody or something and they don't deliver, they're done with that? They're like, you know what? I'm moving on from this product. Is that really a far-fetched thing? Is that like, wait, you're actually leaving? You're actually leaving something simply because you didn't get what you want? It wasn't about just 4 games. It's the whole vision that crumbled. Just look at your own content again and remind yourself of what you thought was going to happen. It's not happening. Whatever was promised gets thrown away. That's the issue. That is the absolute issue. So if you think it was simply because of 4 specific games and not the actual change of direction of Microsoft, and the crazy part is the change of direction was already decided a year ago. So people were absolutely in the dark for God knows how long, right? At least a year. People are upset because that's not what they were told was going to happen. That's not what they got told by you and other influencers of Xbox was going to happen. People were expecting this vision everyone was talking about, and that vision is not happening. So why stay? You know? And yeah, some people are pissed off at each other. Because some people felt they were lied to. Some people felt they were suckered, right? I wish I was a piece of shit, to be honest, right? I wish I was a piece of shit with no morals. Because I would unload my DMs on the internet. Because I cannot count how many Xbox dudes, or I call them reformed Xbox dudes, that apologize to me. Right? Because they literally call me pieces of shit. They call me all these names. They call me everything but the child of God. And then over the last couple of weeks, they came back, yo, Portorock, my bad, bro. I know I talk shit, couldn't stand you, but on the real, you actually saw this shit. And I just, they don't follow me or whatever, but you got to understand, there was real dudes that actually listened to you guys. They were genuinely in it. And they saw me as the bad guy. You guys, with your lies, made me look like the bad guy. Sure, I like to have fun, talk shit, but I ain't fucking lie. You guys lied, or at least you guys misinterpreted a lot of shit. And they believed you, and they looked at me like I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. Now they're coming back. At least they were like, yo, my bad, bro. Like, you were keeping it real, my G. I'm like, all right, it's all good, man. It's just video games. I mean, as long as we kept the gaming, you guys never talked about my family, all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, no doubt we never do that. And line by line, people come in the inbox, right? Because these are dudes that were genuine. They genuinely believe Xbox. They're true Xbox gamers. They believe you guys. and they got led astray, and because of that, they're making amends. They be like, you know what? We said the wrong shit. We did the wrong things for nothing. Boy, if I was a different, I would be like, bro, look at this list, bro. But I'm not doing that because they apologize. I don't really blame them. They listen to you guys like you, and now they realize that shit screwed them over. Now I don't know if they're gonna leave Xbox Echo. We didn't go into that for detail. I didn't have a whole conversation with them. It was just simply they apologized, blah blah blah. I said no doubt, it's all good, brother. You know, keep it cool, man. Enjoy whatever. Good luck to whatever. That's it, right? But that's just how it is, and it's just not that. Let me put this, bro. Let me move this on to over here. Let me get here. My boy Tim Dog, bro. This dude's going through it, bro. Right? Listen, Tim Dog, at least in this circuit, is one of the, if not the biggest Xbox fan, and most definitely the biggest fanboy. He's both. He's the biggest Xbox fan, and he is the biggest Xbox fanboy. Both combined. All right? If there was anyone that always saw the silver lining when there was no lining at all, it was this guy. Tim Dog has consistently saw the positive. This guy was the king of wait for E3. He waited year after year after year after year, and damage control move after move after move for Xbox. And he was very successful at it. Okay? 99% of his conversation, I would say 95% of his conversation was speaking positive of Xbox through the most darkest times, and 5% bashing PlayStation fanboys, specifically fanboys, right? In the defense of Xbox. So everything he did was genuinely in the defense of Xbox. The biggest damage controller ever, but the biggest fan, everything. He's done podcasts since like 2013. He talked on Facebook, everything. He called himself Project Natal for Life. He backed up Kinect, everything Xbox does, right? He always, he was just there, and he always tried to whatchamacallit, give Xbox the benefit of the doubt, even when they didn't deserve it, right? He says socially active, covering Xbox since 2007. I think he did that on Facebook, and then obviously YouTube, YouTube, podcast, and Twitter. He amassed 79,000 followers, and those 79,000 followers is built on Xbox. So he was always talking about Xbox, always giving them a break, and that's how he built his following. His following is huge. Well, the recent events, was enough. Right? The fact that, and what bothers him the most was this. He sees the result and everything, right? And he knows that this decision was made a long time ago. And while he's not an exec or whatever, he is one of the bigger influencers of Xbox, and they have no problem telling him information when it came to pushing Xbox agenda, whatever, right? And a lot of stuff. He got told a lot of things about a lot of everywhere, and he was there to help, to influence and socially push a lot of Xbox narratives and stuff like that. Always there. But when he realized this was hidden from him and that this was working in the back rooms, he didn't know, and he was still pushing an idea of what Xbox will be, even though the decision of what Xbox will be was already done, and it wasn't what he was pushing. So when Microsoft announced these games, it wasn't just the announcing the games, it was the announcement that they are now actually supporting PlayStation, and more games will come. He knows more games will come. So the idea of Microsoft investing in ABK and Bethesda for the fundamental purpose of making the console look better, making Game Pass look better, and actually competing against PlayStation to say they have better offerings than what PlayStation is offering, that idea is gone, and he knows it, and he cheered that idea for a long time because that's all he wanted. He wanted Xbox to be the platform that actually says they have better content and games, than PlayStation. Even if it's just an argument, but at least the argument can be there once again, like it was during the 360 days. And that's gone. There's no way to argue Xbox has better games than PlayStation when Xbox is making games for PlayStation. Because any of those games can go. So what? You're going to argue timed Xbox first party exclusives? That doesn't even make sense. Here's what he says right here. I mean, this guy has comments for days, but here's this one. I like this one. He says, console war facts since everyone is so invested in. Xbox fanboys don't trust Xbox and very shaky confidence. Sony fanboys, well, they just know Sony got this in the bag. They will complain when need be, but have ultimate confidence in Sony. Nintendo fanboys, just happy mofos playing some heartwarming AA games and buying the fuck out of exclusives. He's right. He is absolutely right in this assessment, right? What do you think? You think this is a better image? Let's go with this one. Let's go with this one. He's absolutely right. The trust in Xbox. If you have trust in Xbox, I don't know. I don't think it's possible to have trust in Xbox. I think at this point you just simply just play on Xbox simply because you want to. But as far as where it's going, whatever, it's a day by day. It's just like whatever, right? Sony fanboys, pretty much this gen is one. It's over, right? So far, as you can see, kicking off 2024, it's been all about PlayStation games. Like, you don't even hear anything about Nintendo. Like, it's all about PlayStation. With Helldivers, Grand Blue Fantasy, Final Fantasy, Rise of Ronin is coming up next, Stellar Blade. I mean, like, literally, PlayStation for like the first 2 months, and now we're entering the third month of the year, it's been all about PlayStation in terms of actual gaming conversations, right? It's crazy. And Nintendo fanboys just happy mofos playing some heartwarming AA games and buying the fuck out exclusives. That's really it. Nintendo fans, they don't really care about the graphics and stuff like that. Just make good games, make good AAs, and of course, the Nintendo exclusives that they love. And that's it. He's right. Now let's see some of these responses. Okay. Let me see if I could increase. It's already 110. Okay, this might be better. Okay, got it. Let's see. Crab Gamer, he's like, Sony and Nintendo earned their fans' trust over decades. I think Microsoft ruined any chance at trust by pivoting back to back generations. They made the mistake and then take it out on their fan base. Only 4 current non-gen cross-console exclusive games on year 4. So Crab Gamer's back to not being happy. Look at this guy. What's this guy saying? I no longer have confidence in Sony. They have messed up big time with the PS5. Lack of release. Lack of release? What lack of release? All right. KOTOR remake seems to fail, but that's not even PlayStation. That was a deal they made with Embracer Group in one of their studios. Xbox Series has more games than PS5. Actually doesn't, and even then, they're going to be coming to PS5 anyway. PS5 strength is a PS4 catalog. One could argue Xbox strength is Game Pass. Oh, this guy. Oh man, this guy. You know what? This guy don't even come to my timeline anymore. This dude right here. He was always on my timeline, right? Let me just go here. I think this is better. Let me just shrink myself, but that way you can see me on the screen, right? Because you love my beautiful face. Oh no, I'm just kidding. Let's read this dude right here. This dude used to be on my timeline hot. Now, nope. Because I was right. A lot of dudes don't show up on my timelines no more. They disappeared. Gee. You would think the truth would set them free, right? But anyway, he says corporate facts here since we know where the real investment is. Okay. You want to talk corporate facts, Brennan Davis, Packy Brennan? Gee, how is corporate facts going to help you? Let's see what he says. Xbox has complete confidence in where they're going based on what the future will entail for gaming. Well, yeah, now they're making games for PlayStation and Nintendo. Pretty much the market leaders in their respective areas. PlayStation's the market leader in high console gaming. Nintendo's the market leader in, console portability and everywhere. Shit. You make games for PlayStation and Nintendo, you better have confidence. Lack of confidence would be if you didn't make games for them. So yeah, okay. Multiple relationships and supply and demand and huge surplus market value. What? MS gained top spot and most valuable company. Well, that's Microsoft as a whole, and that's more because of IT, not really because of Xbox. Doesn't seem shaky at all. Like, so Microsoft's success in IT doesn't mean nothing much because, I mean, Microsoft's success as a company didn't help Mixer. It didn't help Windows phones, right? What else? Didn't help Zoom HD. There's so many products that Microsoft said, it's gone because those products have to be successful in their own right. Now, you can't argue that Xbox under any other company would absolutely fail, which I think Xbox would have been gone if it was owned by any other company. So maybe that's to some point. But again, none of that doesn't matter. Microsoft's making games for PlayStation and Nintendo. So let's see. Second paragraph. Sony lost their fight to block MS ABK merger, and any money they make from games like COD also goes to MS, even some Xbox games. So it doesn't matter that Sony lost the ABK merger. Who cares? The ABK merger really, the only significance of the ABK merger is Game Pass. ABK games are going to PlayStation. They're not staying exclusive to Xbox. In fact, it's going to go to more platforms, to include Nintendo. So really, doesn't matter. The ABK merger did nothing. ABK was a third-party publisher, and ABK remains a third-party publisher. Any money they make from games like COD also goes to MS. So you have it backwards. It's not Sony making money from COD. It's MS making money from COD, and Sony gets a cut. You got to understand, the people who are making the game, they're the ones that are expecting to make money. MS, with their studios and acquisition of ABK, they're the ones that are putting in money to create Call of Duty. PlayStation is just allowing it to be on their platform. They're not really doing anything. All right. And then on top of that, the deal that they had directly with ABK no longer applies. Before, in order to get the marketing deal so they can market Call of Duty on PlayStation, ABK would actually, or Sony would actually get a lower cut, anywhere apparently from 15 to 20%. They would not get the full 30% of COD sales. That was part of the arrangement of marketing. On top of that, Sony will have to also spend money for marketing to market COD, right? So the marketing budget and the reduction in royalty, 15 to 20%, that's no more. Now with Microsoft at the helm, right? Sony obviously doesn't have the marketing deal, which means the cut is now 30% and they're not spending any money on marketing. So technically speaking, Sony's about to make more money off of Call of Duty sales. They lowered their sales projection for their one and only relationship and lost around 10% on their stock because of it. Well, no, they lowered their sales projection because they were aiming for an extremely high volume of console sales, which was 25 million, which would have set the record for the brand. It ended up being 21 million. And 21 million, to put this in perspective, is about the same amount of consoles Xbox sold since launch. What Sony did in 1 year is what Microsoft pretty much did for Xbox Series consoles since day one. So, lost around 10% of the stock because of it. Not the kind of ultimate confidence you seem to have. The 10% of stock is company stock, right? And that involves also other sectors and stuff like that. I don't know why you guys are so stuck around stock. Maybe you guys don't remember, but PlayStation 4, when it came out, that was the time when Sony, as a company, their stock value was rated as junk. Absolutely Sony's worst point ever in the company, in history of the brand. And this was around the time the PlayStation 4 launched. I mean, it was 2014. And yet the PlayStation 4 dominated with junk status stock. So PlayStation 5 will be more than fine. Nintendo needs to make a choice very carefully here. Oh, you know what? Just shut up now. What choice? Even now, because of what the future gaming will entail. They might face a failure of a generation next, like the ones before, because they don't innovate, and making another handheld doesn't innovate in the face of cloud gaming. Keep the fans happy, but don't crash it. Oh, shut your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. Fucking Xbox concubines, bro. This is the bullshit people that makes the community. Dudes like him is the worst in the community. Full of shit and corporate cucking, bro. Shut up, Brennan. Shut up. You guys are the worst. And you was not talking like this on my timeline. You were hyping exclusives. You were hyping how Xbox was going to take down PlayStation. All this bullshit. And now look. And now you're even trying to throw Nintendo. You out of your mind. Nintendo is God over Xbox. They lord over Xbox. And Nintendo got your games. Because they lord over Xbox. This guy, bro. Disgusting pleb. Unbelievable. Noof Nukem. His days of podcasting is over. He announced that. You know, I feel bad for him, right? Because he's a genuine dude, right? And, you know, dudes who podcast or try to do this stuff, I really wish everybody all the luck in the world, right? But he felt that it's not going well for him. But he says, I feel like MS was just starting to get this right and then slapped us all upside the head. I don't have any remaining trust in them or the brand. Every company makes money. It's how they choose to make theirs that bothers me. You know, again, he was one of those that bit into the direction hype that everybody was saying. And that's not the direction they will go. Let's see. Let's see. Look at this. I'm muted. Your observations are attention seeking lately. I'm good without cheers and happy gaming. So guys like Nuki Nuke, right? Let's see how many more. Guys like him, right? They were part of I Am Game Pro. Speak for yourself, homeboy. My faith in Xbox is unshakable. Holy shit, bro. I thought you checked out already today to spend time with family or something. You have become a complete joke. Look at that. You don't speak for us. It's your personal feelings. Yo, see, this is a lesson, and this can happen to any brand or whatever. Focus in your life, bro. You're old. Stop doing these things. You're not kid. Focus in your life, bro. You're old. Stop doing these things. You're not kid. Maybe you focus on your English. How about that? Focus on English. Get your ass back to school. What the fuck is you talking about? How are you going to talk shit about someone's life writing like that? I trust Xbox. I'm 10 toes down. You flaked on Xbox. But you know I flake on Xbox. All you want, Tim Dog. You still downloading MLB The Show 24 on your Xbox later this month. Crying streets. But you on your Xbox still in privacy for you. What is going... Holy shit. Let me read that shit again. I trust Xbox. I'm 10 toes down. You flaked on Xbox, but you know I flake on Xbox all you want. Tim Dog, you still downloading MLB The Show 24 on your Xbox. Later this month, cry in streets, but you on your Xbox still in privacy. Fraudulent behavior. Holy shit, bro. As an Xbox fan, not a single one of you speak for me. I'm good with what I got, and not a damn person's opinion Twitter going to change that. I don't understand those statements. Like, you know how many people talk about PlayStation, whatever, and make a statement, whatever. I don't go out of my way to be like, well, you don't speak for me because, you know, I'm a free man. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, nobody knows who the hell you are, Tyrell South. Like, no one knows you. Trust me. Tim don't gonna know you. Oh, my God. Look at this. Look at this guy. Problem is, will Sony be able to keep up with what they're doing? The company is not doing great overall. It's not even the top 300 most valuable companies in Japan because its debt levels are too high. Yeah, you see companies like Sega on that list. You know, I don't understand you guys. Sony is the only entity on this planet that is broke as shit, but everybody complains that they buy out everything for exclusives. Oh my God, PlayStation keeps paying for all these exclusives away from Xbox while they're broke. PlayStation got VR hardware. They got Portal. Pros coming. They pay for exclusives. But yet everybody sees them as broke. I just don't know how you could be so broke and still do all these things. This shit is incredible. Are you okay, Tim? I'm worried. Really? Are you really worried, Emil the Blessed? Are you really worried about Tim? Let's see. What else is here? Somebody nearby really needs to step in and take your device away, bro. I feel like I'm about to be reading about you on the news. So how about this? When he was pro Xbox with the most ridiculous defense, I don't think you guys had an issue with that. I trust Xbox and has confidence in them. Can you stop speaking like you think you know everything? Thank you. How about you just leave his timeline, bro? I don't know. This is incredible, bro. So this is just a lesson, right? This is just a lesson, right? And this is not even gaming. I'm gonna say this. This is more about social media, right? And I think across a couple of things. Social media has created people who want to be emotionally satisfied. And I said this before. I think another video in the podcast. I think in another video. A lot of people just want to be emotionally satisfied and not educated or have critical thinking discussions. You don't care about facts. You just want something to feel right. And as long as the person is saying things that make you feel good, you will support that person. You'll cheer them on. You'll get them up to 79,000 followers, all this stuff. But the moment the person says something that doesn't make you feel good, even if it's truth and something you need to know, so that way you can be a better informed person and clinically analyze the information you're receiving to, and stuff like that. Yeah, just turn coat. The sad part about this, Tim Dog looked at many of you as his supporter because he was doing this for years, and a lot of these people rock with him for years. Now you guys flipped the switch on him real quick. Talking shit, making fun of him, tell him to stop talking about Xbox, which he now clearly sees that, and I told him this, but he didn't believe me. I told him this, there's a lot of dudes that only corporate concubine for Microsoft. That is it. That's all they give a shit about. Their whole life is Microsoft. They have no other purpose. They have no other success. They have nothing to talk about that is in their own ability of success or something that is triumphant in their life. This is it. If it wasn't for this, they would have nothing. They would have no friends, nothing to talk about, just nothing. This is it. Microsoft. This is it. And you can't take that away from them, no matter what Microsoft does. They need to stay with Microsoft, back Microsoft, because if that goes away, oh man, their life is going to be miserable. And it's just sad that Tim Dog is seeing that. He's seeing a lot of people. And I will be honest, I have no doubt that there are people like that in PlayStation 2. Nintendo as well. PC gaming, Nvidia, whatever. I have no doubt that you have people like that in those communities as well. We just not seeing it because nothing of this magnitude has happened on the PlayStation platform, on the Nintendo platform. So obviously, until you need a spark, right? You need a spark so things could just get out of hand and blow up. But until those days come, we won't actually see those people who would be like this, right? Right now, it's just primarily in the Xbox community because it happened to them, right? But if it ever happens to the PlayStation community, Nintendo community, you're going to see this mass separation, and you're going to see these people that it's all about Nintendo no matter what they do, and it's all about PlayStation no matter what they do, even if it's no longer in their best interest. But, the way I see it is your best interest can only be decided by you. You choose the best thing that's for you, right? And if a brand can do whatever they want, change however they want, make bad decisions, make good decisions, or just completely go in a different direction, and nothing that they do would ever sway you, that's a you issue. That's not a me issue. My best advice, and I will say this to every game on every platform, always look at the landscape and make the best decision for yourself. Is this the best decision for me? And that decision should not be based on corporate slavery or trying to be friends on the internet. You should look at the product and actually ask, is the product doing what I really want it to do? If the answer is yes, then it's yes. Enjoy the product. It is what it is. But don't stop other people that are unhappy with the product. Don't try to convince them. Don't tell them to shut up. Just don't go on their timelines and ignore them. That's all you can do. You're not going to make people stop talking. You know, freedom of speech, First Amendment rights, even though, you know, it's a private platform, but people get to say what they want. You don't get to tell them to shut up. What you get to do is get off their timeline. Move on. Stick with the people you want to stick with. Listen to you want to listen. Use the tools provided to you. Block, mute, all this stuff. So that way you don't see the conversations you don't want to see. Best advice I can do for you. But you're not going to shut people up. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. You're just going to have to deal with it and suck it up. But anyway, your only friend is YouTube Street Border Rock 77. Enjoy the video. See you guys Tuesday. 60 Frames No Lag podcast. And I'm out of here. Peace.
Grand opening, grand closing.